Hey everyone, it's me, Mr. Cinema Junkie, and I just wanted to show you a few things that I have here. I have, right here, the Ultimate Edition Dawn of the Dead set. Very cool. I have the 3-disc edition of Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses and the Devil's Rejects. Check it out, man. Yeah. I got original Texas Chainsaw Massacre in steelbook form. Fuck yeah. And I got the 5-movie collection of Saw, which is very cool, very awesome, and very, very neat. I have the 4-pack of Friday the 13th. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 is in 3D, and number 1 is uncut. And I have the Omen box set. Is that not awesome? Have you not seen this movie? Have you not seen Omen or Friday the 13th or Rob Zombie collection? Or did you see the original Dawn of the Dead? How about this one? Do you like the Saw franchise at all? Any of them? No? And you call yourself a horror fan. You suck. As a horror fan, you ain't shit. If you don't like these movies, then who the hell do you think you are? I mean, I even got this here. Look at this. Angus Scrimm, Phantasm. Huh? I got the Phantasm t-shirt, bro. What do you got? If you don't have this and this, then you obviously are not a fan. Especially of the horror genre. You might as well just go back to watching action movies and comedies. Because you, my friend, are not a horror fan. Now that I got that out of the way, and let's bring our blood pressures down now. There was a point to all that. I'm talking about a little pet peeve of mine where people dictate what makes a horror fan. Now, there are certain rules, some basic rules that apply. Fan, of course, is short for fanatic. And a fanatic believes that what they like or what they believe it to an extreme. Uh, Band fans, who go touring after people and following them around from state to state and country to country would be considered fanatical, and therefore they'd be considered fans. But to a more extreme level, yes. But I don't think more of a fan than, say, someone who just buys every album that band comes out with. So, and they can actually dislike one of the albums. Maybe they don't like the way it was recorded. Maybe they don't like the songs on it. But you can't take away their fan badge just because they didn't like it. It's just something that's been on my mind for a little while because I've seen it come up a few times. Like in the past week or so, I've seen people telling other people, if you don't have this in your collection, you're not a real horror fan, or you call yourself a horror fan. Now I know sometimes that could just be being sarcastic. I know they don't mean that. Like, oh, this movie has to be in any real horror fan's collection. It's just emphasizing how good the movie is. That's all. But to tell someone you are not a fan of horror if you don't like such and such a movie, or you haven't seen such and such a movie, it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Because not everybody's going to like everything. It's just that simple. Okay, one of the most hated movies that I've seen so far in horror history has been Exorcist 2. It was a terrible sequel. I think so. A lot of people think so. But what of those 1 or 2 people who actually thought, I liked it? We can disagree to holy hell, but we can't take away the fact that they like horror. They may like horror that's to us, in our opinion, is substandard. but it's still a horror movie and it's still what they like. So I can't honestly, with any reservation, say, "Oh, you're not a horror fan because you don't like this one, or you don't have such and such a movie in your collection." That's preposterous. We're coming late to the game, and you haven't seen this movie? Ah, I thought you liked horror. You didn't like such and such a remake, or you like the remake more than the original? You're not a horror fan. Come on, man. A horror fan is basically defined by those who put horror above all else. They could like other movies, comedy, action, things like that. Liking movies in general, that's why I kind of wish I didn't pick the YouTube name that I picked, Mr. Cinema Junkie, because Cinema Junkie covers a wide range of stuff. Cinema, it means that I'm a fan or a huge fan of all genres. And the fact of the matter is, I am a fan of all genres. When I first started this channel, I was going to cover every genre of movie made. Like some days I do horror, some days I would do action. But I found my niche with horror because it's what I knew more of. So that's what I show more of. I wish I would have picked another name to really reflect that. There's some really cool YouTube names out there that really let you know you are in for a ride of horror goodness. My name doesn't really reflect that, but what I say and what I do should reflect it. Now I know there's a lot of times that I'll bring up a movie and I'll get people telling me things like, "Ah, I really didn't care for that movie too much," or "Oh, the movie sucked," or and that's great. That's absolutely great. I do not mind that whatsoever. What I do mind is when people try to argue my opinion on something. Because that's one thing you cannot argue is someone's opinion. You can disagree with it. You can be dumbfounded by it and like, really? You really like that? Or you really didn't like that? Sure, you can do that. But you can't tell anyone you're wrong. You're wrong for saying you don't like that or that you do like something. You can't. It can't be argued. If I told you Zombieland starred Woody Allen instead of Woody Harrelson, and you came to me and said, "No, Woody Harrelson was in Zombieland," I said, "No, it wasn't. Woody Allen." Duh. And you said, "No, look," and you show me the back of the box, and you say, "Look, see Woody Harrelson." That can be argued. That's a fact. It's an absolute fact. But an opinion is not fact. It's fact as far as the person giving the opinion is concerned. See what I mean? Like, I don't like all the Return of the Living Dead movies. I think 4 and 5 were pretty bad. Didn't care for part 2 all that much, even though I kind of got where they were going with that one. But I didn't care for it too much. But maybe somebody did. And if I tell them, I really didn't care for part 2 of Return of the Living Dead, and they say, "Well, I really liked it, so you must be wrong," that's not cool. I'm entitled to an opinion. Everybody is entitled to an opinion. And that's why there's a comment section after the videos to share your opinion with me. This video is nothing more than just trying to, I guess, air out some thoughts that I had in my head about people kind of setting the standard for what horror is. I mean, okay, I got this collection of Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Reject. Who's to say there isn't a better edition out there that's gold plated and silver foil leaf and signed by the director? It would make it a better edition. But does that make this any less good? Does it make the movie any better? No. It's still the same movie. Does it make me less of a fan because I don't own that one? No. I don't own it. I collect on a budget. Sometimes the stuff I get, like this one, Sinister Cinema 1990 sent me this. I didn't buy it. I was going to buy it used. She sent it to me brand new. And I cherish it immensely. But I like the remake better than the original movie. So does that make me less of a horror fan? To some of you, it might. To some of you, it might make me a horror fan with bad taste. But it's an opinion. Sorry. I love horror movies. I love them. I just don't love them all. I can take horror movies for what they are. I can take them in for, what they're trying to get across. And, but there's just some that just go, and I don't like them. And that's with anything. That's if you're a sports fanatic. Do you like every team? No, you don't. You probably know the stats to all of them. You probably know who's better than who on what particular sport, but you're not going to love every team. You're going to back one team, maybe two, but that's it. You're not going to be like, all right, this team's playing this team. I hope one of them wins. No shit. So yeah, that's basically what I had to say. It's just I don't like doing these kind of videos much, but every once in a while I find it necessary just for me. Not for anybody else. This video really is just for me to air out some thoughts that I had in my head, and I think I got them pretty much figured out now. So to all of those who watch horror movies and have a certain special place in their heart for them, I salute you. For those of you who watch other types of movies and love them more than horror, I salute you as well. And anybody who, I guess, just straight out hates horror movies, I salute you as well, because you have an opinion that you're sticking to. This is why we have a horror community, because we like horror movies. But do we like every single horror movie that ever came out? No, none of us do. Not there. I don't think there's not one person in the horror community that can say every single horror movie that ever came out, I like it. Because you're always going to have the purists who say that there should be no remakes. You're going to have some people who jumped on the boat after the remake was made and say, I like this better than the original. It happens. It really does. Some sequels they don't like. But you can't snatch up their horror fan card and say, you rip that out, throw it in their face. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. So that's all I had to say, really. I miss the days when being a horror fan was simple. You just had to like horror. That's it. Not certain types, not certain makes, not certain models. You didn't have to see it at a certain time. If you didn't see it on the big screen and waited till it was on DVD or Blu-ray, then you suck. No, it's just if you like horror in general, and it's your passion. It's something that you love and you love to share an opinion on. That's what makes a horror fan. It's not about how many posters you have. It's not about how many action figures or collections or how many shelves you have filled up with movies. If you have 5 movies in your collection and that's all you have, it doesn't make you any less of a horror fan. Just means that someday you'll work on your collection if that's what you want to do. Not everybody likes to collect. People just like to watch horror movies. That's why you have things like Netflix, so you can just stream them and don't have to be bothered with buying them. But I like to think of myself as a collector. That's another thing. My editions are usually just the DVD. I don't have the box set that ran me $700 and signed by the cast members and it has a prop from the movie. I don't usually get stuff like that. So, but it doesn't make me any less of a collector, not in my opinion. I collect movies. I have a collection of movies. And most of them, I'd say about 90 to 95% of them, are horror movies of one form or another. Everything to serious shit like Laid to Rest and The Collector, all the way down to Blackula and Blackenstein. So, just wanted to say, don't let them get you down. Don't let anybody dictate if you're a horror fan or if you're not a horror fan. Just if you feel it in your heart that you are, and just know that you love horror movies, then that's really all you need. That's all I got to say on the subject. Thanks for listening. I promise I'll try very, very hard not to make this kind of video again, ever. So, thanks for watching.